Last year, the Volkswagen Polo was the second best-selling passenger vehicle in South Africa, coming second only to its little brother, the Polo Vivo. For the 2022 model year, the 6th generation Polo has been facelifted and updated, and that includes updates for the proudly South African Polo GTI. That's right, the Polo GTI is built exclusively here in South Africa, right in Kariega. Let's take a look at what the changes are on this 2022 model year. It gets a fresh new face for 2022 with reprofiled headlamps, a new grille, new bumper, in fact a whole new front end. And it looks really stylish. On the GTI models you're of course going to get the red stripe that runs through the headlights, through the grille, and you'll notice an LED strip that joins the DRLs in the headlights, well, with the grille as well. Very reminiscent of that ID electric range. Being the GTI, it gets the hexagonal elements in the grille and of course the GTI badge, and we've got some really nice hexagonal fog lamps down in the lower section of the bumper. The GTI is also going to get the IQ Light matrix headlights, which are LED, auto leveling and auto high beam. Stylish items these. Down the side you're ordinarily going to get 17-inch alloy wheels, but you can specify 18-inch alloy wheels like we have on this one here. Around the back, it's a reprofiled tailgate, lower bumper, and new LED tail lamps. Unmistakable. But there's more changes on the inside. Hop inside the new Polo GTI and, well, it's a bright affair because, as standard, the Polo GTI now gets this King's Red trimming. It's a metallic red trim piece that goes around here. You can specify some other different colors like greys and silvers, but as standard they come out with this King's Red. It flows onto the door cards and across the whole dash. It's not terrible and it's offset nicely by the rest of the piano black trimmings. Then you're going to notice the new steering wheel. It has been redesigned and it features all the touch controls. On the GTI, it's got the red stitching and red detailing, and of course this GTI badge. It feels really good in the hands, and for a touch system, it actually works really well. Many manufacturers get this wrong, and VW is sort of getting it right. Glad to see that. Okay, this one has been specified with the Discover Media infotainment system, so the full color system here. It's got a variety of screens, and I particularly like this performance monitor that you can actually change so that you can see, well, whatever you want to here really. G-forces, boost pressure, temperatures. I could play with that all day. But I think a really cool bit is this digital HVAC control, heating, ventilation and air conditioning. It features these lovely touch sliders for adjusting the temperature control. I mean, you can use it like a button, but sliding your finger works really well. And it's very similar to the volume controls and the track skip controls that you've got on the steering wheel. All the same system. This GTI, because it's got that Discover Media, also gets capacitive charging down here at the bottom, so wireless charging, USB-C outlets, and we've got drive mode. This one has the parking pack on it as well, which means that the vehicle will hunt around for parking spaces for you if you're really in a bind. It's really nice in here. It's a little bit somber, but it's broken now with these highlights, the leather upholstery and the red stitching. Really lovely. I do still have a few questions around some of the trimmings of the current Polo range. The only soft touch element is this little piece here. Out on the road, well, the Polo GTI is still powered by the same 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, making 147 kilowatts and 320 newton meters of torque. Now that makes it good for a 0 to 100 time of 6.7 seconds. And they say that on the combined cycle, and if you drive it nicely, it'll return as low as 6.4 litres per 100 kilometers. Now that may be true for the open road, but it's definitely not the combined cycle. Combined cycle is a little heavier. If you drive it in boost and you race it around a bit, well, that figure's going to take a nosedive, so be forewarned. We're sitting at 13s here. We've been playing a bit. Now it drives fairly nice. I do have a few criticisms. So, the Polo GTI rides 15 millimeters lower than the regular Polo. This is due to its GTI-specific sport suspension. But unfortunately, the sport suspension hasn't been worked out properly. It's undersprung and over-dampened, so you end up bouncing all over the road, and it's not that pleasant, particularly on the long road. It starts to get to you. Another little negative is the gearbox programming, which isn't all that great, particularly when you have it in sport mode. Then it tends to be very aggressive on the downshifts, and braking into a corner is going to see you, well, it'll feel like you're climbing onto the ABS, in fact. It's not that great. It could definitely be better. And yes, that brings me on to the price of the Polo GTI. No two ways to slice it. It costs R500,000. That's a lot of money. If we're going to be specific, base price is 489,400 Rand. But nearest makes no difference because, well, you're going to throw a couple of extras on it as well. This one has the likes of the roof, leather upholstery, Beats audio, Discover Media, 18-inch wheels. So this one's well over R500,000 for a Polo GTI. Sorry, but that's not just an indication of where car prices are at the moment. It's just a little bit ridiculous. One of the options that you can fit to the new Polo is a safety pack, which is going to see it fitted with a few safety features like adaptive cruise control with automatic braking, as well as lane keep assist. That's right, it'll keep you in your lane, steer for you. And that's some lovely tech to get in a Polo. But it's sort of expected in a R500,000 car. And that, I think, alludes to how competitively priced the Polo is. It isn't. It's become rather expensive. R500,000 for a Polo GTI. That's a lot of money. I don't know if VW is going to sell as many Polo GTIs as they're hoping.